As we reach the final installment in our comprehensive analysis of the 1978 Jehovah's Witnesses children's literature, we can now synthesize the patterns of indoctrination and psychological influence we've uncovered throughout this series. Over the previous 7 parts, we've examined how this religious text systematically shapes young minds through carefully crafted narratives, imagery, and teaching methods. This culminating analysis will bring together our insights about fear-based messaging, reward conditioning, and the sophisticated manipulation of children's natural desires and fears. The psychological implications we've traced throughout this series come into sharp focus in these final chapters, offering a complete picture of how religious doctrine can be packaged and presented to fundamentally shape a child's worldview. Looking at the opening page, we find bold claims about Bible prophecy and divine authority. The text employs a classic example of circular reasoning, using the Bible to prove the Bible's own authority. The language is absolute and definitive, leaving no room for questioning or alternative interpretations. These unverifiable claims are presented as undisputed facts, setting a foundation of unquestioning acceptance in young readers. The book's use of apocalyptic imagery, particularly its depiction of Armageddon, reveals a calculated approach to instilling fear and compliance. The dramatic illustrations of heavenly armies create a visceral impact on young minds. This imagery serves a dual purpose. It both frightens children with the consequences of non-compliance, while simultaneously offering them a sense of security if they remain faithful. The concept of Armageddon is wielded as a powerful tool to create anxiety about the future and drive compliance with religious teachings. The text's approach to violence is particularly concerning, as it presents divine destruction as not only justified but necessary. Biblical examples are used to normalize the concept of punishment and destruction as divine tools. The section titled "The End of All Badness" frames violence as a positive solution, teaching children to accept and even anticipate destructive divine intervention as a righteous outcome. In stark contrast to the fearsome imagery of destruction, the book employs powerful emotional manipulation through its promises of paradise. These idealistic scenes are carefully crafted to create desire and longing in young readers. The contrast between the threatened destruction and promised paradise creates a powerful psychological dynamic, pushing children toward compliance through both fear and desire. The paradise imagery specifically targets children's natural desires and imagination. By presenting scenes of children playing with exotic animals and living in perfect harmony, the book creates an irresistible vision of the future. This combination of fear-based motivation and reward promises creates a particularly potent form of psychological influence, especially effective on young minds who may struggle to distinguish between fantasy and reality. The depiction of children studying together reveals another layer of indoctrination strategy. Group study and peer influence are powerful tools for reinforcing beliefs. These scenes normalize religious study as a social activity, creating an environment where peer pressure and social bonds become intertwined with religious beliefs. This approach effectively uses children's natural desire for social acceptance to strengthen their religious commitment. The book's treatment of punishment narratives demonstrates how eternal consequences are used to enforce compliance. By linking disobedience with permanent negative outcomes, the text creates a framework of fear-based control. These stories serve as powerful behavior modification tools, teaching children that questioning or straying from taught beliefs carries severe eternal consequences. The psychological techniques employed throughout this book form a comprehensive system of influence: fear-based motivation, promises of rewards, peer pressure, and absolute thinking. These methods can have significant long-term effects on child development, potentially impacting critical thinking skills, emotional well-being, and the ability to form independent judgments. The analysis of this 1978 children's book reveals sophisticated manipulation techniques targeting young minds. From fear-based messaging to promises of paradise, from peer pressure to absolute thinking, these methods work together to shape children's beliefs and behaviors. This understanding highlights the crucial importance of protecting children's developing minds and fostering critical thinking skills, especially in the context of religious education.